Watching UBC TV. Welcome to UBC News Roundup. Today, my name is Sharon Kyomugisha. In our top stories of the week, President Yoweri Museveni this week urged Ugandans to avoid politics of malice and hatred, which he believes causes division. This was during a meeting with National Resistance Movement leaders from Bukedea district. He cautioned the political managers to be careful with their language if they want to unite the people. The meeting was held to resolve the standoff on who should hold the party flag for the upcoming elections for Bukedea LC5 seat. Take a look.
President Museveni was speaking to the National Resistance Movement leaders from Bukedea district, who called on him at State House in Entebbe yesterday to resolve the standoff on who should hold the party flag for the upcoming elections for Bukedea LC5 seat. There are 8 aspirants in the race, who include Lois Akror, who is a daughter to the former LC5 chair of Bukedea, Moses Alem Khan, the current vice chairperson of Bukedea, Akol Mary, former Kachumbala sub-county councillor, George William Atum, pharmacist Sam Opeto, former Bukedea district youth chairperson, Ongura Simon, musician and former Bukedea sub-county chairperson, Emong Johnson Otinga, NRA Bukedea chairperson, Ongole James Michael, and Ewana Lutia Moses. President Museveni, who is also the national chairman of the ruling NRM party, told the meeting that for all the time he has been around since the 1960s and in leadership, he has been able to succeed because he has no malice against anybody. The NRM national chairman was also happy to learn that for the good of the party, 6 out of the 8 aspirants were willing to have one candidate, preferably allowing the current vice chairperson of Bukedea, Akol Mary, who is also the acting LC5 chairperson, to continue leading the district. However, Miss Aklore, a student at Kampala International University and also a daughter to the deceased former LC5 chair of Bukedea, was determined to take on anybody in the race for the party flag to continue from where her father, Alim Khan, stopped. Speaking as a parent and grandfather, His Excellency Museveni advised Miss Aklore not to abort her education for politics, saying it is not the end of the world for her. The president promised to support her finish school so as to prepare for the better future, but also support the 16 siblings that her father left under her care. According to the NRM Electoral Commission chairperson, Dr. Tango Doi, a district NRM conference will be held next week where Mr. Tukey will hand over the flag to Miss Akol. According to a recently released roadmap by the Independence Electoral Commission, the people of Bukedea district will go to the polls on June 14th to elect a new district chairperson. The seat fell vacant following the death of the former chairperson Moses Alem Khan in December 2022, only a year and a half into his tenure.
As a chairperson LOC5, but as we are gathered here as a loyal card of the party, I will be willing to listen for your guidance. I will be willing to take your guidance as a founder member and the vision bearer of the National Resistance Movement. Thank you so much.
And we think as one, instead of having divisions. We have come together as candidates. I, as Emong Johnson Otinga, I say I have to abide by the rules and regulations of the party. Whoever the party identifies as a flag bearer for Bukedea, for Bukedea district by election, I am fully going to back that person.
Mtonyi Helda and Sam Senono, UBC.
Police this week revealed that the police officer who shot and killed an Indian national at Raja Chambers had a mental disorder. Uttam Bandari was killed by Ivan Wawiri, who is currently on the run but was arrested today morning. According to police, the suspect Wawiri used a gun left at home by his housemate. The incident sparked mixed reactions, including questions raised by President Yoweri Museveni through his social media handles. Fred Egesa, a security analyst, advises security operatives to enhance conflict resolution avenues to curb such crimes. Now, Egesa was speaking to our own Daniel Mugoya in an interview.
In this CCTV footage, which has been spread across various media, shows how an armed suspect identified as Ivan Wawire, a police constable 67029, seemingly lost patience and shot at Hutam Bandari, who died instantly. The incident happened at Raja Chambers along Parliamentary Avenue in Kampala. According to police, a team has been set aside to track and find the suspect Ivan Wawire, who is currently on the run.
This will be very useful evidence during trial. The suspect is still on the run, but a team has been set up to track him.
Circumstances surrounding the nature of the shoot remain complex, leaving behind hanging questions.
He came with a gun, with a possibility, a very, very big possibility of using it. Now, that spells two things to our forces. I think it's high time we knew that orders at one time or the other may not work. Discipline at one time or the other may not work. And then we should create in all police centers, even for army, there should be centers of counseling where if in case there is a situation where people can go and government, they talk to, government is a parent.
The killer, Wawire, took advantage of a gun which was brought home by his housemate who had worked night. Police says the housemate is already in the custody.
Police management at CPS Kampala had taken a decision about 6 years ago, not to arm the suspect with a gun. And they have been deploying him in bits that does not require him to be armed. His current deployment was at CCTV monitoring center. Due to limited accommodation, the suspect was sharing a house with a fellow police officer.
Yeah, if it was a mentally disturbed person, you'd see the erratism, you'd see him, you'd see the savage way he would have used this weapon. But he was very particular. He fires at one person, he fires in the air, he fires at one person. He knows that I've knocked him out, but he's not even very sure if he took the bullets. He walks back, he comes back, he shoots him 3 times again to make sure he's literally dead. And even in the corridors when he was away, people were running out and he was not confronting anybody. But this was a much more case of recklessness, that a gun was left. In fact, it was even nice to bring back the gun. He would have fled with it.
President Yoweri Museveni raised a number of questions which, to his wisdom, may plug the gaps in security system in Uganda. In my interaction with the renowned security expert Fred Egesa, such instances can be curbed through enhancing conflict resolution among security agencies.
The person was not on duty. It's the question, how are guns managed within the police, in the central police station? And I know that's why before there used to be a situation that CMI would get concerned with how policeman handles their guns. Even ISO would also get concerned, and then they would exchange reports and then tighten management. We have had cases of abuse of the armorer, the police armories. We have had several cases. How do they come about? That you'll find that sometimes at one time even guns were coming out and being hired out. Sometimes bullets were leaving. Now, if armories are not managed, I think it may bring in a question of saying any armory around should be managed by a list of other forces, not only one single force.
Okay.
Yep.
Secondly, the president's concern is, did he walk away from his guard post without permission with a gun, or to commit a crime?
Does that mean that he disarmed his friend? What explanation does the friend give? A gun is an item on the body, like my phone.
The friend left the gun home, and according to police, he went to see his sick.
How do you leave a gun home? Kept by who? Is that unit being supervised? How, you know, have they been taught the importance of keeping a gun on your body? Do you leave a gun in a room? Do you know, all these are questions. And that's why sometimes really it is very important that we study these cases and then criticize ourselves and perfect. Because if a gun was left in a room, meaning that he could open and access the gun, even any other person, even children of these days a boy of 12 years can cock and use a gun. Now you can see the dangers we are looking at in barracks, or it may be in locations where we keep our forces.
Okay, there's also the fourth question. The president is concerned. He asks, is there no security at the site where the victim was?
Yeah, they used to be in discipline by, even I remember a case where we had a minister in Mukono where I think his minister slapped a guard. Yeah, but those are very isolated cases. Okay. Those are very isolated cases.
Then there's the last one. Did he have a history of mental, of course, instability? If he had, why didn't the police leadership noticed and acted appropriately? Now this takes us to the police statement today. The police says 6 years ago they had vowed never to arm this of police officer Wawire anymore. So what do you make of?
When they vowed, why did they keep him? How was it going to operate without a rifle when he's supposed to be enforcing the law and order? That is double standards. If you believe someone, what was the reason? What did he do? If he, you know, once you have indiscipline on firearms, you should literally be out of the force. Because how will they be very careful that at one time, if there is an emergency, how will you be isolated? Think of a situation that you're in a station and you have been invaded, and there is that kind of rush for arms to defend. How will you say this one may not have the best head to be given a gun? Why wasn't he relieved?
The gun violence has gained momentum in the last few weeks after security officer attached to UPDF shot and killed the former Minister of State for Labour, Charles Okello. An unarmed assailant shot and killed a vlogger, Isma Tusubira, aka Jaja Ichuli, and Police Constable Ivan Wawire, who shot and killed an Indian investor, Hutam Bandari, among others.
Investigatively or through research, we should try to look at these cases, though isolated cases, but they are common in that people allowed to carry arms are taking away the lives of those they would have protected. Because like with the policeman, he was not literally protecting this guy, but a policeman has a duty to protect anybody in Uganda and property. Now, he's the one taking away the life of that person who he would have protected. So under the circumstances, we come to realize and say, I think there is, we should understand these cases in isolation and then try to correlate them and get a common answer. And then once we've got a common answer, then we shall chart out a common solution.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
The people of northern Uganda this week asked government to investigate and explain the motive and circumstances under which Minister for Labour, Employment and Industrial Relations Charles Engola was killed by the personal bodyguard. The demand for the investigations is what dominated the speeches during the burial in Awanji village, Oyam district, where the Vice President, who represented the President, Museveni, was the chief mourner.
As it is the norm, the UPDF pallbearers led by the band carried the body of Colonel Charles Okello and laid it before the mourners for prayer and eulogies. Despite the many who came, only a few had the opportunity to speak.
He was such a resilient leader who would always ensure that what is meant to be done in that day should always be accomplished. And I recall he was in charge of the program that day. We visited the Akibwa Stadium. I think that is the time when we laid the foundation stone.
Colonel Engola was an officer of incredible talent and enthusiasm who developed tremendous teamwork within the forces and promoted cooperation between the military and the wananchi. He continued to be useful to the UPDF even as the minister.
can we get saved? If all of us are saved, Uganda would be different. There would be no such killing. You carry a gun for a purpose, not just for silly behavior we are seeing today.
That very drastic actions must be taken on the use of guns in this country.
His brother Sam Engola, who represented the family, spoke fondly about the slain minister.
I told me, Excellency, I asked you for 5 minutes. And to the point, General Ronda told me you have refused Okero to retire. You want us to deliver pipe. The only way we can deliver pipe is through Okero. We walked out. I ran him from the gate. I said, my brother, you have been released from them and promoted. If you let me down, you don't get a pipe, I will be dead. He told me, I am not going to let you down. He went on the field, he succeeded.
On blood compensation, Bishop Alfred Olwa in his sermon urged the bereaved to be followers of Christ and forgive.
Never avenge yourself, but leave it to the wrath of God. Why? Innocent blood pleads its cause before God.
At the burial, his son Samuel Engola was also presented to the chief mourner, the vice president as the chosen one to take on the father's mantle.
That the law provides that within 90 days, another member of parliament should be elected to represent the people. The president considers, accepts, and supports their son, Junior Engola Okero, to contest and replace Nathan Okero for the remaining period of time.
Her Excellency, the Vice President, is laying her wreath.
After the laying of the wreath, the slain minister's body left the ground for his final resting place. And at about 3:30 p.m., the body was lowered to return to dust.
To earth, ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. Here on thee.
11 guns salute crowned the minister's journey here on earth. Ediolo, UBC News.
Still in the course of the week, River Katonga's heavy flow this week washed away a section of the Kampala-Masaka highway, leading to diversion of traffic via Mpigi, Kanoni, Sembabule. Motorcycle riders have increased fares, while others have resorted to using boats from Kayawe Namirembe Shore to Masaka. Now, the situation has also affected fishermen due to accumulated weeds. Take a look.
A roadblock has been installed along the Kampala-Masaka highway to divert traffic for those flying to and from Masaka, except for those headed to Kayawe. The Mpigi Kanoni Sembabule route is the option available. As a result, riders have increased fares from Kayawe to Masaka.
We have not heard from our MP about the status of the road, whether the road will be worked on or not. I would transport a passenger at 30,000 shillings from Kayawe to Masaka, but this time going through Sembabule, it costs 100,000 shillings. The bridge was also weak because it had some cracks, but I think there was laxity to check the status of the bridge.
Some travelers have turned to alternative transportation methods, such as using boats, to travel from Kayawe Namirembe Shoal to Masaka.
Omuntu agenda okulinnya eryato wano agenda kubeera nga atuwaayo omutwalo gumu
Every passenger pays between 10,000 to 20,000 depending on even how you speak to us. But we also consider where the person is going. We need bigger boats with stronger engines to be able to maneuver this weed that has been caused by this flooding. There are points where we reach, then we have to get off the boats and then push them to be able to proceed. It is really very tough for us.
Boat owners have made available life jackets to ensure passengers' safety during transit.
I have allocated 10 life jackets to every boat, though I request them to wear them properly to be safe since they have no strings on them.
Akasente olw'okuba nti njagala omwana wange ogenda okujuza fomu siina kyakukola naye era akasente wali ku luguudo tubadde tukozesa 13,000 wano bansabye omutwalo gumu 12,000 ku nfuna yaffe nga bannakyalo sente nnyingi nnyo.
Fishermen have also been affected due to a lot of weed that has made the activity hard to carry out.
Even if people are traveling, we the fishermen have no business to transact.
All this has been caused by the river Katonga, whose heavy flow caused the road to collapse, rendering it impassable.
There is a good road from Kayabwe town that can take you to Kanoni or Kabulasoke. The road is good, and if worked upon, it can help us. This road requires small vehicles because heavy ones cannot use this route. That is why most of the loaded vehicles had to go to the diversion point where people have to go through Sembabule.
For now, no activity is taking place, though security forces and officials from the Uganda National Roads Authority continue to visit the area for assessment. It is alleged that human activities in the area have partly caused the water to exert pressure on the road, while heavy vehicles have also contributed to this scenario. Sandra Kahonde, Ivan Kalwa, UBC News Tonight.
President Yoweri Museveni this week contributed 20 million towards the Bikabya Buganda tournament slated for Saturday this week, which happened to be yesterday. Now, Presidential AD Hajat Hadija Namyalu delivered the money from the president to the Premier of Buganda Kingdom, Charles Peter Mayiga, at Bulange Mengo near Kampala.
On Saturday this week, the Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Mwenda Mutebi II, will open the Bikabya Buganda tournament Buganda Clan at Wankolokoko Stadium. The president has contributed 20 million shillings to the tournament to help organize and buy tickets for the youth to watch the tournament. Buganda Premier Charles Peter Mayiga thanked the president for the donation.
The system, of course, is embedded within the heritage of Buganda, which the Kabaka is custodian of. So when you come to support something which is in people's daily lives, which is in their hearts, you win them over. And I think Hajat Namyalu here is being very smart.
Mayiga welcomes everyone without discrimination to support the development of the kingdom.
It's actually true that the clan system is an anchor of unity. But when you support the Vika football tournament, for example, you put that belief into practice. We do not choose the parties to which people are going to belong. It's just like a religion. So we urge NRM supporters to come out and support their clans during this tournament. This tournament might be one of the hottest tournaments we are going to witness. And it would be good when you come out as an NRM supporter and you show your support to your clan. Come out as an NUP supporter, a DP supporter, whatever.
Presidential advisor on political affairs and head of the presidential office, Hajat Hadija Namyalu, said the president decided to participate in helping the clan tournament because they have been very helpful in bringing unity among the youth.
Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, being or coming from Ente clan, he sent me to come and honor and bring in the 20 million in support of Ebika bya Buganda. And he told me he wishes his clan to win. The national chairman of NRM, an advocate of togetherness. For me, I'm here as his political assistant.
The president will continue to support sports to help youth find something to do through their talents.
For the youth, and this brings all the youth together. And we are here to bring back the youth all together as one to fight corruption, to create opportunities.
I'm Nafka Farida and Joseph Moyingo.
Now, the Education Committee of Parliament this week made an assessment tour of the infrastructure projects at Makerere University, including the main building or ivory tower that was put down by fire. The committee, led by the chairperson, John Tamuhira, during the assessment tour, learned that out of the 17 billion that was appropriated for the rehabilitation of the main building, only 8 billion had been released. He also learned that the lives of students in the halls of residence are at stake due to poor sanitation.
In September 2020, Makerere University main building was gutted by fire in the wee hours of the night. The iconic building, constructed in the early 30s, that was the landmark of the university, was all destroyed by unknown fire. The funds were, however, disbursed to restore the landmark building, and works started in 2022. During the assessment tour of the infrastructure progress of the projects at the university, the Education Committee of Parliament made site visits in the main building in restoration, halls of residence, the university hospital, among others.
The work seems to be moving on well, and to us, within 6 months to 10 months, they should be able to complete the facility, but the details will be given to us later.
First, the historical building, currently under restoration, and works were in progress. The project is expected to be complete late 2023.
Important thing, we want to find out whether the money that we are appropriating as Parliament and what government is sending here is doing the right work or not. We shall establish that by the time.
The committee learned that out of the money that had been appropriated for the restoration of the historical building, only 8 billion has so far been released.
If you look at the construction of the restoration of the main building, the Ivory Tower, out of 17 billion, they have only released 8 billion. So finance is also doing a disservice to the development and reconstruction of some of these infrastructures at the university. So
the committee toured other structures at the university, and most of them are visibly dilapidated. The halls of residence at the university that are still accommodating students, including Africa Hall, Mary Stuart Hall, University Hall, Mitchell Hall, are all at the verge of collapse.
Because the few areas you have looked at, the facilities are not in good condition at all.
For Mary Stuart, there are still guards, but they are at risk anytime that block can fall.
At Mary Stuart Hall have visibly falling debris of cracked walls and ceilings, all posing a danger to lives of students. On the contrary, the famous Lumumba Hall was closed down to save lives of students after it got extremely dilapidated beyond renovation.
We have also visited Lumumba Hall. That one, when we came here in the 10th Parliament, we had recommended they should close it. And we are happy that university followed our recommendations and it is closed due for rehabilitation.
If you look at the halls of residence, Lumumba Hall and Mary Stuart Hall, the money which was approved for reconstructing those halls of residence, up to now, finance has not yet released.
Some of the committee members proposed acquisition of a loan for a general overhaul of all halls of residence, not only in Makerere University, but all other public institutions.
So the Makerere wants to rehabilitate, and their willingness will be rehabilitating. But is the government willing? I've insisted from Wanaomi Yingo and the First Lady, let them get loans like other entities for revamping and the rehabilitation.
Most worrying is that the university hospital is likely to lose its land after failing to secure the land title.
We are now here at the hospital The hospital is also in a very sorry state.
Makerere University is Uganda's oldest public university, started 100 years ago. The university was allocated over 100 billion shillings last financial year for renovation of key structures and building of the perimeter wall. The committee is expected to make recommendations and report to the House. Susan Nawonga reporting for ABC TV.
In more stories, Ministry of Health anticipates 1.5 childbirths by the end of the year, a situation that demands concerted efforts to improve maternal health services from stakeholders. Now, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, was launching a corporate society for safe motherhood society for maternal health improvement, an idea mooted by Stanbic Bank.
We need a lot of support from everyone for us to run.
Healthcare workers want appreciation, not bashing, in order to offer quality services to the public. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, says medical workers work a lot under difficult conditions and therefore need public support to do better.
All the services and the deliveries that they have given, the services, the sacrifices, the commitment, the working in wee hours and long hours, all they get is backstabbing, tearing. And that dampens, naturally, it dampens the people who serve or who are the front line.
This was at the launch of a corporate society for safe motherhood at the residence of Stanbic Bank Chief Executive Officer in Kololo, Kampala. Atwine says any contribution made towards improving healthcare is commendable for the good of the country.
Actually have also emotions, they have personal needs, but they choose to go there and work because that's what they chose to do.
The Chief Executive Officer, Stanbic Bank, Anjuko, explained that the bank has been mobilizing resources and stakeholders to support healthcare in the country, including Kawempe National Referral Hospital, which has the highest number of deliveries in the country.
The numbers are improving, but we are nowhere where we need to be. Right? People are still losing their lives needlessly while performing the noble act of giving life. So I want to, I'm so encouraged by the companies in the room and the individuals, because corporates are soulless unless we, the people who work in those corporates, provide the soul of the companies that we work and choose to spend our time and lives in.
The director, Kawempe National Referral Hospital, Dr. Emmanuel Biaruhanga, however, said that despite their efforts to ensure better healthcare, all they get is scathing attacks from the public.
A lot of bashing from Facebook. I think some of you saw. Most of the time we have bashing, and that's why I was so happy when Stanbic and you partners at least have a time to come and thank our staff, because 99% of the staff do a lot of work.
The stakeholders meeting under the theme Zero Preventable Maternal and Neonatal Deaths by 2023 was graced by the leading government entities and corporate companies interested in improving maternal health.
To go and say thank you to the staff. From the medical to the guard to the cleaner, went away with something that put a smile on their face.
The Chief of Defence Forces, General Wilson Mbadi, this week called for synchronized integration of stakeholders in ending insecurity in the Karamoja region. Mbadi was officiating at the 3rd Division change of command from Brigadier General Joseph Balikudembe to Major General Don William Nabasa. Take a look.
System for the division commander, if he's somewhere in the field, he can be located, or you can call an aircraft to be located in.
Major General Don William Nabasa has taken over office from Brigadier General Joseph Balikudembe, who was recently sent on a 1-year strategic course at Jinja-based National Defense College.
This is the report that
my total commitment towards contributing to the peace, of course with your continued guidance and support. I want to assure you that I will continue to make efforts to make Karamoja peaceful.
The function was officiated by the Chief of Defence Forces, General Wilson Mbadi, at the 3rd Division Headquarters in Moroto District. General Mbadi congratulated the incoming Division Commander, Major General Don William Nabassa, upon his new appointment. Mbadi tasked Nabassa to focus on protection of non-raiding districts of Abima and Karenga and end inter-clan conflicts which are fueling insecurity in Karamoja region. He further called for coordinated integration of all stakeholders
so that we complete the integrated disarmament and development program, because that one will then give people hope of an alternative means of livelihood so that they can stop relying on rustling alone.
General Mbadi further urged Don Nabassa to engage all parties in order to placate Karamoja region, but also advised leaders to register and brand their animals. Brigadier General Joseph Bali Kudembe handed over the division land titles where all barracks are located. Nonetheless, some were already encroached on by civilians.
The recent survey on Moroto and the areas where the encroachment took place, and there are already plots, but we have a title.
Kotido District RDC Ambrose Honoria says there is need to register new entrants by customs.
A customs point whereby we can have immigration to be able to receive the incoming and outgoing people who would like to do business across the border.
Moroto District LC5 Chairperson David Koryang thanked Bali Kudembe for the great work in restoration of peace in Karamoja region despite the disunity.
Done your great best to ensure that Karamoja has lived a test of some peace, but in the disorganized way by the owners, not by you.
The 3rd Division covers Karamoja, Bugisu, Sebei, Bukedi, and Teso sub-region.
You see the Sumba, wherever you go for an operation, some blankets made for the Karamoja.
Residents of Bugolobi want Ministry of Environment and Water to take action against investors who are constructing factories in Bugolobi wetlands. Through the association, Bugolobi Homeowners and Tenants Associations, residents say due to the increasing construction of factories in the wetlands by investors, this is one of the reasons for the flooding of sewers in Kampala.
This place is located in Bugolobi and it separates Bugolobi and Namuwongo village. According to residents in the areas, this was a wetland that used to collect water flow from Kampala through Nachivbo Water Channel to Lake Victoria.
Lake Victoria in its lifespan, if you check on Wikipedia, has dried 2 times ever since God Almighty created planet Earth. So we do not want to lose the lake because it is entire system, feeds many people, especially the demographic gains that we're having in the country.
As of now, there are some factories built by investors in this wetland.
This occupation of this natural filter in terms of a wetland, which is supposed to filter into the lake, is now being eroded. It means that the other water flows will take in, first of all, Kavera, and the ecosystem of the lake, the fish, which is being covered by the algae and filled. You see that the top of the lake in some of these areas have now got oil. This will kill the fish, and you'll find that the fish population will go down.
In Namuwongo, residents have decided to settle in wetlands, with others constructing houses and dumping garbage in the water channel.
Kati wewekanga nga toyina oba toyina kyakukola. Abantu abasinga obungi oluusi kasita bakola ebyabwe sinza byogera akawungeezi basuula muki omwana gwa Nakivubo. Koleddwa singa bongera mu kotoyi pozi n'okusomesa abantu obuyonjo nze kyendaba.
It's against this backdrop that Residents of Bugolobi have come up with an association, Bugolobi Home Owners and Tenants Association, headed by the NRM chairperson Eastern Uganda, Captain Mike Mukula.
What we are saying now is that we are going to reactivate, work together with the local structures, the LC1 systems, LC2 systems, so that the LC systems can be reawakened, can be brought back to life. The token collections on a monthly basis will now help to manage and to operate and to make sure that the organization operates very well and the structure and the systems are in place.
Through the association, they have called upon Ministry of Water and Environment to come to their rescue by stopping investors who have decided to destroy the wetlands by constructing factories.
We are now at a global level fighting for the green gases. We're now fighting for the protection of environmental degradation. But if we don't protect what God has given us, like this wetland, then what are we fighting for? What is NEMA for? What is the institutions of government? What are they doing? And that's why we would be inviting the Minister of Environment, Honorable Betty Anywa, to come here herself and see, and the Minister of Lands. I think the matter now needs to be resolved by the highest level, maybe His Excellency the President, because if we don't preserve the wetlands, then we're really in danger as a nation, really danger in a nation.
Residents of Bugolobi are also in collaboration with KCC and NEMA to address the challenge of poor roads in the area, including strengthening security.
The moment you interfere with the ecosystem, God who has designed this earth, therefore God who created this beautiful earth and left it to man to manage in the best way he can, we are mismanaging the ecosystem, and that's why we are paying heavily.
They, however, decried the challenge of noise pollution in the area caused by the increased bars.
If you look at Bandali Rise, it's now become fully a nightclub, disco area. But the question is, who causes this? The legal issues of licenses, which is against the norm, because this is a residential area.
Deborah Namamode, Susan Nabugudde, UBC News.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom Voice Bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me. And as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Glow as you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Tecno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256GB storage, G88 gaming processor, and a strong battery to last the whole day. Haha! Towakana.
The Spark 10 smartphone comes with free 3GB from Airtel and 100% bonus on weekly and monthly bundles every month for 3 months, so you can stay connected to a world of possibilities. Dial *100*5# to enjoy free data. The new Spark 10 is available in all selected Tecno shops countrywide. Airtel, the smartphone network in partnership with Tecno. Stop at nothing.
The Resol Agribusiness Show is here under the theme Revolutionizing Agriculture through Value Addition, Innovation and Technology, scheduled for 13th to 16th June 2023 at Ruhinga Stadium, Fort Portal Tourism City, with a free medical camp running throughout the show. Entrance is totally free. To sponsor, partner and participate, contact 0702 301 059 or 0773 458 492 or 0773 301 059.
You're still watching UBC News Roundup today on the 14th of May 2023. As we continue with our business stories, bus drivers plying routes via Masaka to other parts of western Uganda have decried the long distances and increase in fuel prices following Uganda National Roads Authority's decision to close off Masaka Road following Katonga Bridge collapse. The General Manager at Chisenyi Bus Terminal Saturday Mwezi says that the bus companies have not increased transport fares because that is a decision that can only be taken by Uganda Bus Owners Association. Take a look.
As the rains intensify and water levels of various rivers in the country rise, the transport sector is feeling the brunt of this natural predicament. A case in point is River Katonga, whose water level has increased, thereby devastating Katonga Bridge. Transport to and from Masaka and other parts of western Uganda has been drastically affected, resulting in longer distances since motorists have to divert and use other roads.
Almost 12 kilometers nga 9 plus, kilometer 190 plus.
Abatambuza abantu oluguudo lwaffe lwafunye ekizibu bridge n'eyabika. Naye kati tufunye ekizibu nti we tuyita wanene nnyo amafuta ge tukozesa mangi.
Buses plying the Masaka route have resorted to use Mpigi, Kabasanda, Chibibi, Gombe Road, then Sembabule, Bukomansimbi, Butenga, before finally joining the main road around Nyendo in Masaka.
Neziteyo Sembabule nezigukira Masaka kyabakuza. Awo neziryoka nezigenda Embarara.
The General Manager Chisenyi Bus Terminal, Saturday Muhwezi, says despite the challenge, the transport fares have not been increased.
Rungi, omusuubuzi owaffe wetulemerako owa bulijjo entambula tetunaba kwongezaamu n'ekikumi n'ekimu.
Muhwezi attributes the Katonga Bridge disaster to environmental degradation.
Lwa ntobazi kuzoonoona batemye emiti ebisaaru byennyini ebyo ebizingako Katonga eyo babitemye atemye babyokya omusenyu motoka zisombera ddala omusenyu.
This is one of the worst scenarios that have happened on Kampala-Masaka Road, and bus operators urge UNRA to expedite the works of repairing the damaged Katonga Bridge. I'm Navka Farida and Sana Anet in Kampala.
Now, there's fear of hike in food prices as transport costs have been allegedly increased due to collapse of Katonga Bridge that has since paralyzed movement along Kampala-Masaka Road. Traders say a sack of Irish potatoes that was going for 230 Ugandan shillings is now between 270,000 and 300,000 Ugandan shillings. Transporting a bunch of matoke has increased by shillings 5,000 as truck drivers decry double transport costs.
It is almost double journey now for a truck moving from Masaka to Kampala. This as River Katonga flooding left the bridge broken down, thus cutting off the road. The double journey has seen an alleged sharp increase in transport fares, with some vehicles failing to move through the narrow roads of Bukomansimbi and Sembabule districts.
Distance eri kuva Sembabule okutuuka wano Mpigi yenkana n'okuva Kampala okugenda Mbarara.
I use 100 liters of fuel from Kampala to Mbarara, but now it has doubled.
Some drivers told UBC the agony they have endured during their journey to Kampala.
The road from Nyendo to Villa Maruya is so poor. Some vehicles fell on the road since drivers are not used to the hilly road.
Kampala is yet to experience a hike in food prices like matoke, Irish potatoes, vegetables and other foodstuff that are transported through Masaka Road due to diversion of traffic. It is 176 kilometers from Masaka to Mpigi, and now a bunch of matoke is transported for 5,000 more than it was before.
A sack of Irish is now between 27 to 31,000 shillings. We are going to make losses for those we had contracts to supply since we can't adjust.
Traders and truck drivers want government to expedite the construction works to replace the broken bridge to prevent crisis on food and transport costs. The journey is long. It is now 80,000 to Mbarara. With the number of food products that are transported via Masaka routes, the prices of these products remain unpredictable since the round movement raises transport costs. Miriam Wumcha, UBC News.
Jerry con. Jerry con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Bang Jerry con with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundawa. Best groups I teach you. When I go to which the muscari, because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? Is serious you? What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru,
okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
Thank you so much for still watching, and we'll come back from that short commercial break. Lastly, in our last segment of sports news, the Kabaka of Buganda has officially opened the Buganda Clan Tournament at Mutesa 2-1 Kulukuku Stadium. The opening match was between Nchima and Ngabi clans. Now, the Ngabi clan beat Nchima by 3-1 goals. The clan games are being held under the theme Man Against HIV and AIDS to Save the Girl Child. Take a look.
would like to appreciate His Majesty the Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi, for gracing the highly built opening match. We want to thank all the people of Buganda who have participated in this opening. This has been a communal effort calling for a communal response of the people of Buganda. We have to come together. We have to come together from regardless of our social classes to make sure we have such a beginning. This is just the beginning. Our strategic focus must be centered to the finishing, that is the end. I want to appeal to all the clan teams to make sure you make thorough preparations within your respective clans so that we may have a high build end towards the finals.
As Airtel Uganda, we are once again proud to associate ourselves with the kingdom. The Bika as a tournament forms the three pillars that form the kingdom of Buganda. We believe that through our support for football, we can be able to unearth grassroots talent, and we hope that we'll continue to grow this property and this brand for it to become one of the most significant properties or brands that we have in the country.
Kawempe Muslim girls football team has been eliminated from the ongoing Fresh Dairy Senior Secondary Games in Barra. Kawempe, who made the final previously, was forced into penalties only to lose to Amos College School. St. Noah, on the other hand, is through the semi-finals. Details from Edmond Gabas, who reports.
Not the usual final, the party has been ruined. Girls football giants Kawempe Muslim are out of the ongoing Fresh Day Senior Secondary School games. Kawempe was knocked out by Amos College on penalties.
For sure, I can't express my happiness right now because it was because of God's grace and love that we managed to beat Kawempe.
Their counterparts, however, St. Noah, are through to the semi-finals of the games, defeating Sacred Heart Gulu.
It wasn't really tough because we expected to win and we've won. It wasn't tough. That was the game we played, and we're just going to correct our mistakes that appeared on the pitch. We are going to come back the next game stronger and stronger to achieve the best, to become the champions of 2020 to 2023 Fresh Dairy Games in Ibarra.
The other shocking quarter-final game, Mokono Parent School defeated Boni Kuchuli Vocational School.
We are so happy that we made it to the semi-finals. It's our first time to go to the semi-finals. We are very happy. We want to thank the Almighty for enabling us to reach the semi-finals.
In the ladies' basketball, St. Mary's Chitende, Budo SS and St. Noah are through to the quarterfinals. In table tennis, girls, Mbogo High defeated Navisun in straight sets to make it to the semis, while Chibli SS defeated Kaoteka Academy in the men's event. Fresh Dairy invested 240 million shillings in these games that climax Monday afternoon.
Our sponsorship basically is to ensure that we are supporting the talent in schools, and we are doing so by giving the kids a chance to showcase what they have. At the same time, we're also offering our products which are very good for post-workout activities.
The winners of these games represent the country in the East African Games, slated later this year in Rwanda.
Thank you so much for watching the UBC Weekly News Roundup. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Have a lovely afternoon and a great week ahead of you. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Jerry, con. Jerry, con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Bang Jerry can with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava. Best group is I teach you. When I go to which Muscari, because of the camera is very far. Is you serious? Is serious you? What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs, and you get your sugar. We buy milk from Umaru, and Umaru refused to give you enough meat. Show him that they don't joke with you.
Okukakalukana okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako. N'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga. Awamu teri kitulema.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Omutukuvu-ngaze sinza kusigala nga bwendi asumulula byonna ebyansiba obwedda asangula amaziga gange ayugumya byonna nze nensumulula sinza kusigala nga bwendi omwoyo omutukuvu-ngaze.
Mu nsi gye wasiranira mu nsi waliyo ekkomo ng'omuntu akoma awo ne baliko otya ne balimuyamba batya nga bw'akoma naye newaffe eno teri kkomo. There is no limit. Tolina w'okoma osobola okutuuka wonna, osobola okusuuka wonna omwoyo wakutuusa kubanga akuyingiddemu talina wakoma. Ekyo njagala kitegeeze omwoyo wa Mukama talina limit. Ensi ye n'okujjula kwayo asobola okufikisinga wonna wayagala, asobola okutuusa wonna wayagala. Okyawuza amiina naye tovanga mu mwoyo, ekikuta kuva mu mwoyo. N'akazigo kokka akamuvi tekakujja mu mwoyo. Va ku bizigo byange onoonya kunzira mu mwoyo gwe kusambe. Nywera mu mwoyo wa Mukama Katonda. Whatever problem, stay in the spirit of God. Hallelujah. Otekirira wansi.
Olwokusatu olwokuna era baliroka mu muddo ng'enzingu ku mabbali g'emigga. Walibawo aligamba nti nze wa Mukama, n'omulala alyetuuma erinnya lya Yakobo, n'omulala aliwandiika n'omukono gwe nga wa Mukama, ne yeetuuma erinnya lya Isirayiri.
Kaakati Katonda amaze okuyiwako emikisa gino gyonna, abantu bagenda kukola ki? Kwegomba. Alibya beetuuma erinnya lyo. Mukama waffe yeebazibwe. Ekyo Katonda kyagala okulimbula mu kwegamba abantu bakwegombe, abeewammwe balabe Katonda byakoze, bagenda nti bannange ono yali yasiraana, Katonda bannange alina amaanyi. Mukobere mu ngalo Katonda waffe. Luka essula esooka olunyiri lwa 28.
Luka essula esooka olunyiriri olwa 28. Awo n'ayingira omumwe n'agamba nti, mirembe gwe aweereddwa ennyo omukisa, Mukama ali naawe. Naye ne yeeraliikirira ekigambo ekyo, n'alowooza okulamusa okwo bwe kuli. Awo malayika n'amugamba nti, totya Maliyamu, kubanga olabye ekisa eri Katonda. Era alaba, oliba olubuto, olizaala omwana ow'obulenzi, olimutuuma erinnya Yesu. Oyo aliba mukulu, aliyitibwa mwana w'oyo ali waggulu ennyo, era Mukama Katonda alimuwa entebe ya Dawudi jjajjaawe. Era nafuga ng'ennyumba ya Yakobo emirembe n'emirembe, so n'obwakabaka bwe tebuligwawo. awo Maliyamu n'agamba malayika nti kiriba kiti ekyo kubanga simanyi musajja.
Aha, Maliyamu n'agamba naye nze sirina musajja. Naturally mubuliwo omuntu tasobola kuzaala nga talina musajja, naye gwe ŋŋamba ngenda kuzaala omwana kisoboka kitya? Naye nze njagala kusomesa olwayo nti ebitasoboka mu buntu, ebyalema abeewammwe, ebyakulema omwoyo byagenda okukola. Era tobeeranga awo ne wejjusa. Kale singa nze nasoma, kale singa nze nabeera bwe nti omwoyo omutukuvu tamanyi ki background zo, tamanyi lwe wakula, tamanyi kiki ye kasita kujjula kiwedde, asobola okufuula kyonna kyotandifuuse. Amina, asobola okufuula. Naye gwe omutawana nti kasita ofuna ekizibu, ye sitaani ng'ajja kwambaza omwoyo we ow'ennaku, ow'okweraliikira, ow'okutabuka, awo ng'akumaze. Stay in the spirit, sigala mu mwoyo. N'agamba nti naye kinaasoboka kitya? Malayika yamuddamu atya?
Malayika n'addamu n'amugamba nti omwoyo omutukuvu alikujjira.
Aha.
N'amaanyi go yali waggulu ennyo galikusiikiriza.
Kubira mu ngalo ekigambo ekyo mwana wa. N'amugamba si gw'ogenda obikola, si mwami wo, naye omwoyo omutukuvu n'amaanyi plus power bye bigenda okukola omulimu. Amina. Gamba nange mbitwala olwaleero era nkubuulira olwaleero nti suubira ekintu kyonna kyotosuubirako obulamu. Haleluya. Otyo
era ekyo ekirizaalibwa kye kiriva kiyitibwa ekitukuvu, omwana wa Katonda.
Haleluya. Ekizaalibwa kigenda kwegamba omwoyo omutukuvu kyakoze kiba kyanjawulo nnyo, kibeera supernatural, kiba kyanjawulo nnyo. Amina. Era kyobulaba nga oluusi bajja kugaa nti olimba wagenda mu nnyanja, oyo agenda mu nnyanja, oyo mukola ki? Kubanga tebakisuubirangako mu buntu. Mukama yeebazibwe. Nolwekyo njagala kutegeeza nti suubira ekintu kyonna ekisusse ku bw'obuntu omwoyo omutukuvu kyagenda okukola bulamu. Gw'ova mu natural life, ova mu bulamu obwa bulijjo n'ogenda mu supernatural life, ebintu byo byonna ebijja gy'oli nga byamagero, nga byanjawulo. Haleluya. Njagala otandika okutambula mu supernatural life, otandika okutambula mu bulamu obutali bwa bulijjo. You become a superior person. Ofuuka omuntu ow'enjawulo ku bantu abalala, ofuuka ow'enjawulo okuva ku baganda bo, nga gwe ebintu byo byanjawulo nnyo, nga byewuunyisa. Haleluya. Era tebibeerako kukopa. Omwoyo omutukuvu toyinza mukopa n'omusobola. Haleluya. Era totegananga kukwatirwa muntu bujja nga omwoyo omutukuvu amukoledde ekintu, ogenda kumenyeka naye, kuba bw'omukwatirwa obujja nga ate amwongera, ojja kukwatirwa obujja akawala kabadde kalunkulubuse kafunye booyi wekkololo, obujja bukwabye akongere hanemuunu ebeere ye Canada, gambe njabike. Omanyi gy'oko mukwatirwa omuntu obujja gy'akoma Katonda omwongera waggulu, kumenyeka naye wabwereere. Haleluya. Okwatirwa omuntu obujja tolowooza nti oyinza mussa wansi. Nababulirako wano nti nze nalina obujja bungi naye Mukama yansumula busumuluzi, nga mpulira bubi omuntu ng'afunye ekintu ekirungi, nga mpulira njagala kwabika. Gamba ng'olinga nze. Haleluya. Omanyi twalokoka ne muganda wange n'akola ki? Ye n'asooka okusumula, naye twali mu bwavu, twegamba nga tukaaba kyekimu. Era bwe twakaabanga nga mpulira bulungi, school fees zibuze, nga naye addamu school fees nange zimbuze ez'abaana, awo nga mwana yange mpulira bulungi. Naye omuntu bwamugamba nti school fees zimbuze, ye naganze nsasudde ttaamu 2, awo nga mpulira njabika. Haleluya. Akati muganda we yasooka okukola ki? Okusumulwa. Ye n'asumulwa ye n'afuna omulimu ew'omuyindi. Omuyindi oli n'amwagala nnyo, n'agamba nti nafunye omulimu. Ne ngamba Mukama yeebazibwe, naye nga nnimba mpulira njabika. Kakubulira omutawana oguli awo okulokoka n'osigaza omwoyo gwo, ne mpulira nga nfa. Ni Katonda n'agamba mundowooza, Katonda n'agamba nti ojja kufa nnyo tonnaluba. Wayitawo omwezi gumu n'akomawo n'agamba nti wategedde Tomu, omuyindi yanjagadde bali badde bamubba nze simubba ye ibunyiza nnyo okulaba nga nfiisa sente empitirivu n'ezimuwa baali bamubba dda era anjagadde nnyo omusaala gubazizzaamu emirundi 2. haleluya paulo salyana kyakiro kankubuli nali ndi emmere nagenda okulaba nga eyagala kudda atandise okugula engoye nze ndi mu mpale emu njooza kiro nempulira ng'obujja bunjabya mukama ffe yeebazibwe nali nkyali awo naŋŋamba nti wategedde ayisawo akabanga omuyindi anjagadde aŋŋambye genda mu driving school oyiga emmotoka olumala lugiyiga n'ofuna driving permit muŋŋambire munova ku bujja ojja kwabika omutwe mwana ye nagenda okwagala okunaaba n'amazzi nga gansiiwa ne mubuuza kiki ogenda kuvuliga mu mmotoka haleluya kubanga osaawe nagenda okwiranga n'omutwe gumbaluka era nadduka buddusi mu kisenge ne ŋŋamba mukama we bituuse wano nyinza okufuna puresa zabwere ne ŋŋamba mukama nyambula ekintu kino mwanange obujja kiringa kikutya sitaani akikwambaza gamba nkyeyambula mu linnya lya Yesu mwanange olwakyeyambula bwe nti mukama n'akinyambula neneebunya mukama Katonda nampa okumwagaliza kati Katonda nange n'atandika okunduka nanduka nange nanyusa waggulu mukobera omugalo Katonda ekyo njagala kiviire ddala mu bulamu bwo obujja tebugenda kusuuza munno bintu Katonda byamuwadde tekisoboka haleluya Sawulo yakwatibwa Dawudi obujja ne Sawulo gye yakoma okukwatibwa Dawudi obujja gye yakoma okukka wansi paka n'afa n'okufa Dawudi gye yakomanga okweyongera neyongera n'afuuka ne kabaka obujja bukola mu nsi kubanga mu nsi abantu be beepangira obulamu naye ne wa Katonda yakupangidde bw'owulira nga obujja bukwatirwa omwoyo omutukuvu omugambe mwoyo omutukuvu lwaki okolera ono kugamba kukwatirwa obujja naye ali innocent bakolera mukolera si abyekoledde haleluya mukobere mu ngalo Katonda waffe haleluya kakati no omwoyo omutukuvu byakola biba bya bbeeyi biba bya kitiibwa biba byewuunyo nga wano bwe yatugamba mukama waffe yeebazibwe ekintu ekirala nti amaanyi gano ge gagenda okusoboza amaanyi n'okufuuka omwana wa Katonda ogenda kuwangula buli muzimu na buli musambu olwaleero kwegamba omwoyo yakuba emizimu ng'omwoyo wuwo tayinza kulwanyisa sitaani haleluya omwoyo yakuba emizimu kyobula teweerijjanga ku mizimu nga ovuddeko waya mwe abakyala abafumbo ogenda n'okuba omuzimu gw'obwenzi oguli mu mwami naye nga ate olina obujja oyo obujja sitaani tajja kugoba sitaani munne sooka ojjule omwoyo wa Mukama amina Yokaana ekisooka 1 John 5 olunyiri okuna
Yokaana ekisooka essula ey'okutaano n'olunyiriri olwokuna kubanga buli ekyazaalibwa Katonda kiwangula ensi
ekyazaalibwa Katonda kiwangula ensi gamba yenze kasitobera omwana wa Katonda olina okuwangula ensi n'emizimu gyakwe gyonna yes yongera
era kuno kwe kuwangula okwawangula ensi okukkiriza kwaffe
kwegamba bw'olwana olutalo kkiriza nti wamaze dda okuwangula kubanga okuwangula kusooka mu nsi ya mwoyo byokola wano byogenda okuloota ekiro ate bye bigenda okuvaayo ono yajja wano omwami ono atuwadde obujulizi yajja wano ng'amaze okuberemererwa yonna interview zonna zimulemeredde najja n'atandika okunoonya Mukama Katonda n'alwana olutalo kati ye yalowooza nti azanya buzanyi naye nga mu nsi ey'omwoyo alina kyakola kati n'aloota ekirooto ng'envunza ekola ki efuluma kwegamba yalwana olutalo n'agifulumya ki ekyavaayo manifestation obwaddala bwakyo ne buvaayo ne bamuyita amina gwe ekikutta nti wano mu kusaba wano ogenda n'osaba ng'ozanya osaba olabirira bulabirizi bannange singa musumba Tom ankwatako bw'oba osaba nga olwalutula luweerabire musumba ton weerabire omusumba yenna olina kyokola mu nsi ey'omwo yekigenda okuvaayo. Era olwaliro ogenda kuyingira mu lutalo ng'omwana wa Katonda owangule ate okkirize nawangudde dda embeera ne bw'ebeera ng'ekyaliwo. Nababuulira ne baga nti omwana omuto atya nnyo enkoko gy'osazeeko obulago okusinga ennamu. Mukimanyi ekyo? Ennamu ayinza n'ogizanyisa naye omala ogisalako obulago bwoti n'etandika okupaapaala bweti adduka emisinde ogirabangako naye ng'ate enkoko yafudde dda wadde ekyapaapaala. Haleluya. Ne sitaani oyinza omukuba enkeera n'apaapaala n'akola atya neyeetiriboosa naye gwe wamaze dda omuwangula eno ddakiika ntono nga yamaze dda okufa. Haleluya. Gamba sitaani gwe obadde onneesibyeko naye nakumaze dda ndi mwana wa Katonda nina okuwangula. Weekubireko mu ngalo. Genda Matayo essula 12 Matthew 12 olunyiriri 22.
Matayo essula 12 n'olunyiriri 22. Awo ne bamuleetera omuntu aliko dayimooni ng'azibye amaaso n'omumwa n'amuwonya. Oyo yali azibye omumwa n'ayogera n'alaba. Ebibiina ne bisamaalirira byonna ne byogera nti ono ye mwana wa Dawudi. Naye Abafalisaayo bwe baawulira ne boogera nti oyo tagoba dayimooni wabula kuba Beelzebuli omukulu wa dayimooni.
Abalala ne bagaa nti bannange naye ono si kaana ka Dawudi kano ke twalabanga ku kyalo. Abalala ne bagaa nti oyo wagenda mu nnyanja yajja amaanyi akozesa mizimu. Kakati
bwe yamanya okulowooza kwabwe n'abagamba nti buli bwakabaka bwe bwawukana bwokka na bwokka buzika, na buli kibuga oba nnyumba bwe yawukana yokka na yokka terirwawo. Ne Setaani bw'agoba Setaani ayawukana yekka na yekka n'obwakabaka bwe bulwawo butya.
Singa Setaani era agoba Setaani singa yawayawukana ddanga teyandibadde ng'asobola n'okusimba amakanda mu nsi. Setaani tasobola kugoba Setaani munne. Obusungu tebusobola kugoba bwenzi. Mukyalo mufumbo owulira akagambako tekisoboka. Obujja tebusobola kugoba ki bukodo. Amina. Gwejjula omwoyo wa Mukama Katonda yagenda okukuba Setaani. Mukama waffe yeebazibwe. Otyo
Obanga nze ngoba dayimooni kuba Beelzebuli, abaana bammwe bagigoba ku bwani? Kale abo be bali basalira omusango. Naye obanga nze ngoba dayimooni kuba omwoyo wa Katonda, kale obwakabaka bwa Katonda bubajjidde.
Nze ngoba dayimooni ku lw'omwoyo wa Katonda mmala kujjula mwoyo n'enkubaani n'enkuba dayimooni. Haleluya. Yesu ky'olaba nti Katonda yamukozesa nnyo kubanga buli bwe yasabiranga omuntu ng'asooka kujjula mwoyo. Haleluya. Nze bujjo wange okusabira nga nkulaba oli wa lugezi. Omanyi waliwo gw'okansolinga alina olugezigezi nga omukansolinga naye bwakansolinga n'omugamba tubikule Luka musumba ekyo sooka ogireke. Waliwo ekyamatayo kusuulire musumba oyogerayo ekigambo kimu ye nayogera 8. Kakati n'okusooka n'ensiriikira ne ŋŋamba Mukama mpa ekisanjagala omukazi ono musaasire mulumirwe. Oyo ye mwoyo wa Mukama Katonda singa nvaako waya n'etabuka toona. Haleluya. Era kyekyama ekiri ekyalinga mu Yesu ng'asooka kujjula. Tumulabe Matayo 2 Matthew 2 olunyiriri 3 olabe Yesu engeri gy'akubangamu emizimu.
Matayo essula 2 olunyiriri 3. Laba, abazibe b'amaaso 2 abali batudde ku mabbali g'ekkubo bwe bawulira nti Yesu ayitawo ne boogerera waggulu nga bagamba nti Mukama waffe tusaasire omwana wa Dawudi. Ekibiina ne kibaboggolera okusirika naye bo ne beeyongera okwogerera waggulu nga bagamba nti Mukama waffe tusaasire omwana wa Dawudi.
Abantu abalala nga baboggolera mwamala kubba ne muziba amaaso naye bo ne beeyongera lwaki baamanya nti yesu alina ekisa n'okusaasira wadde abantu baba baggolera. Kati ekyaddako ki?
Yesu nayimirira n'abayita n'abagamba nti mwagala mbakole ki?
Otyo
ne bamugamba nti Mukama waffe amaaso gaffe gazibuke. Yesu n'abasaasira
n'akoma
ku maaso gaabwe.
Haleluya, mukobere mugalo Yesu Kristo. Yesu alina ekisa n'okusaasira kungi twamuyigako. Yesu asooka kwatulwa kusaasira n'aluka akuunya. Amina. Takolera mu busungu. Ekyo olaba Musa bamuggyako obukulembeze, yatuuka ekiseera abaana ba Isirayiri ne bamutabula, ne yeekaanya ne yeetamwa n'akuba olwazi n'obusungu, n'agamba bannange nga muntamye. Mukama n'agamba nti nze awo sikolerawo, emirimu gikulemye, tojja kusobola kutuusa abaana ba Isirayiri mu nsi ensuubizi, erekeraawo. Ate nze neewuunya Abaganda ebigambo bino baba babimanya batya? Mukama yeebazibwe. Nze navanga ku ssomero nga nze nankola kinkoye, amasomero ag'edda nga tutambula mayiro nga 7 ogenda okusoma. Kakati otuuka waka jjajja nga akugamba kwata ensuwa eno genda ku luzzi. Haleluya. Tolina kakuwadde wadde wakakokulya, genda ku luzzi tewali mazzi genda onone. Kati neneekanya muntu alabye nze sinnali enjala ennuma, n'agamba tokwata ensuwa yange togenda nayo, nja kukuba akaggo girekawo. Naye lwaki yagiŋŋaananga bannange? Ng'amanyi nja kugyasa ekintu kyonna kyokola n'obusungu n'obukyayi n'obuki kyonna sitaani yakuwerekera era akyonoona. Ekintu kyonna kyokola n'omwoyo wa Mukama Katonda ow'okwagala n'okusaasira n'okulumirwa, omwoyo wa Mukama yakigoberera. Amina. Era olulala mwana neewuunya nagitwala olw'empaka nenjatikako, naserera katono neyatika. Era nze njagala nkubuulire, omuntu bw'omugambanga nti ntwalira ssente zange zino mu bbanka n'akwekaanya, nze nkooye nze kani n'emirimu gyange gimugjeeko, bajja kuzimubbirako wali ku paapa. Haleluya. Omwami n'agamba ng'ololera empale yange eno ne weekaanya ojja gyokya. Nolwekyo omwoyo oyo njagala omulwanyisenga okulaba ng'osigala mu mwoyo wa Mukama Katonda. Mukama agenda kukozesa emirimu minene mingi 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 mingi. Haleluya. Akati ekintu ekirala nti omwoyo wa Mukama Katonda ono, Yesu omusaayi gwe tegukoma kukunaaza bunaaza, naye gukola endagaano naawe, ne gukola endagaano naawe ne Yesu Kristo. Haleluya. Akati endagaano eyo neemenyawo endagaano ziri ze baakuwongamu ez'omusaayi gw'enkoko n'embuzi n'endiga ez'ekika oba ez'amalogo ge baakuloga. Haleluya. Tetufunye budde ekiro tujja kwasomesa engeri gye tukubamu eddogo. Mukama waffe yeebazibwe. Kwegamba this covenant, endagaano eno y'omusaayi gwa Yesu, it nullifies. What is to nullify? Because ejjawo oba emenya endagaano ziri ze baakuwongamu, kubanga omusaayi gwa Yesu gw'amaanyi okusinga omusaayi gw'enkoko n'embuzi guli gwe baakuwongamu. Akuloga akuwonga musaayi ogw'ebisolo. Amina. Kakati endagaano eno bw'enafuya endagaano ziri ez'omusaayi gw'enkoko n'embuzi, omwoyo omutukuvu n'ajja n'akola ki? N'akutula enjegere ezo kubanga zimaze okunafuwa. Haleluya. N'azikutula. Njagala ogende mu kyabalamuzi olwaleero olw'omusaayi gwa Yesu n'omwoyo omutukuvu, ogenda kusumulula lwa mpaka. Gamba ye Mukama ku lw'endagaano ey'omusaayi gwa Yesu, endagaano zonna ze nawongerwamu zoonoonebwa okuva ku bulamu bwange era zinafuwa. Ayi omwoyo omutukuvu, jangu okutule enjegere zonna ezibadde zinsibye. Ayayaya. Otyo 15:14.
Ekyabalamuzi essula y'e15 n'olunyiriri olw'e14. Bwe yatuuka e Leki, Abafirisuuti ne bogerera waggulu bwe basisinkana naye omwoyo wa mukama n'amuggyako n'amaanyi.
Omwoyo omutukuvu n'amukkako n'amaanyi. Kati omusajja ono yali muwonge wa Katonda, was dedicated nga yeewonze wa mukama kuva mu lubuto, naye ne bamusiba enjegere nga wakati naawe ogenda kwewonga mu musaayi gwa Yesu. Haleluya. Akati omwoyo omukama bwe yamukkaako n'amaanyi kyekyabaawo.
Emigwa egyali ku mikono gye ne gifuuka ng'obugoogwa obwokeddwa omuliro. Ebyali bimusibye ne biva ku mikono gye.
Ebyali bisibye ne bitwa emikono gye.
N'alaba oluba lw'endogoyi olubisi, n'agolola omukono gwe n'aluddira, n'alussa abasajja 1,000.
Amiina. N'aludda n'alussa abasajja 1,000. Haleluya. Tosobola kulwana ng'oli musibe, emikono bagisibye onoolwana otya, naye olwali bw'onoosumululwa omwoyo omutukuvu yagenda okusumulula, ate ye omwoyo mukama yagenda okuwa amaanyi okuba emizimu egibadde gikusibye. Mukubire mu ngalo omwoyo omutukuvu oyo. Toddayo okuva omwoyo wa mukama Katonda. Haleluya. Ekirala omwoyo omutukuvu era kyagenda okukola nti yaggulawo empuliziganya ne Katonda, ogera n'ogamba Mukama yogerako nange, naye ng'ojjudde mwoyo mulala wa nnaku wakweraliikira. Bw'ojjula ow'ennaku n'okweraliikira, ennaku yegenda okwogera. Bw'ojjula omwoyo w'obusungu, omwoyo yagenda okwogera ow'obusungu. Muvume, mwanjulire amalusu. Okibule omwoyo gw'ojjula yayogera, gwogera n'oyagala Katonda ayogereko naawe, naye ng'ojjudde mwoyo mulala. Naye bw'ojjula omwoyo omutukuvu wakati mu bizibu n'oyingira mu mwoyo wa mukama, agenda kwogera naawe. Era ogenda mugamba Mukama yogerako nange, ndaga lwaki eno embeera ennemeddeko. Omwoyo wa mukama yogera nange, mbikkulira pulaani zo z'olina eri obulamu bwange. Leka kubeera mu suspense n'obeera mu kizikiza nga tolina ky'omanyi. Haleluya. Okubikkula essuula esooka, Revelation. Olunyiri 9.
Okubikkulirwa essula esooka n'olunyiriri olw'omwenda. Nze Yokana muganda wammwe, era ssekimu mu kubonaabona ne mu bwakabaka ne mu kugumiikiriza ebiri mu Yesu. Nali ku kizinga ekiyitibwa Patumo olw'okutegeeza kwa Katonda n'olw'okutegeeza kwa Yesu. Nali mu mwoyo ku lunaku lwa Mukama waffe.
Omusajja ono yali kazinga Patumo. Akazinga kano baakateekangamu abantu ab'okukola ki, abazizza emisango gya Nnaggomera, abajeemedde Kaisaali kabaka yali afuga Roma nsi yonna biseera ekyo, nga bakuteeka kazinga kali. Kati bano baali bajeemedde kabaka ono nga bafunye kabaka Yesu, ne bamuyoola ne bamutwala kazinga. Amina. Ajeemedde Kaisaali, essaawa yonna bamusalira ogw'okufa, naye agamba atya, nali mu mwoyo.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. This weekend on UBC.
We've got to acknowledge certain things. Then on the woman's side, the men also change.
Yeah, true.
A 30-year-old man cannot be, a 30-year-old man, a 40-year-old man is stronger than a 60, 70-year-old man. Probably even more romantic, I don't know. So, both sides must acknowledge the changes and accept them.